Hi, Namaskaram. Today I want to share my thoughts on certain valuation metrics used by mutual fund used by financial experts in determining the profitability of a fund. These are key parameters. When you want to analyze a fund, you want to see those values before choosing a fund. As I have discussed in my earlier class, for choosing a fund. In analyzing choosing a fund by analyzing uh, goes a long way in determining the profitability of a investment. I'm going to discuss two valuation parameter that are used. That is widely used by experts. These parameters give an insight on the fund's future. On the fund's future performance, or it indicates. It gives you. It indicates. These are broad indicators or guidelines for one to choose a mutual fund. I'll be discussing two parameters today. There are five or six important valuation metrics that are associated with mutual funds. I'll be discussing two today, namely alpha and R-squared test. Let me start with alpha. Alpha is a relative measure. It compares a fund's performance with a benchmark index. With a benchmark. For instance, I want to give an analogy for better understanding. Let me see. Let us take a cricket match. Cricket match where good score for a 2020 batsman is 30. A batsman scoring at 25 runs per minute at an average of 25 is considered as an underperformer, as benchmark is 30. A batsman scoring at 35 runs a match is a super achiever. Similarly, alpha compares the performance of the fund with a benchmark index. For instance, your mutual fund portfolio as stocks and stocks and debt instruments from Nifty 50 index. It compares the performance. It tracks the performance of the fund with respect to the benchmark. Similarly to a cricket match, say there are some ideal values for alpha. Alpha of 0 says that funds growth is in line with the benchmark. Positive alpha indicates that the fund is overperforming the benchmark, or negative alpha says that fund is underperforming. So the alpha values give an insight on the on the future performance based on historical data. However, this is a useful tool, but one cannot say with this can predict the. This can be used as a tool for predicting the future performance of a fund. There are so many factors that could upset the calculations. For instance, let me take a cricket match again. Say they arrive at a benchmark average score for a good 2020 batsman 30. After a year, that calculation was based on some historical performance of based on matches that was played. After a year, they find that batsmen average around 20 because of so many factors. Good wickets, bowlers finding out the weakness of the batsman. So there's so many factors, and they revise the benchmark. Now it comes down to 20 runs per match. So they found that the initial benchmark that was calculated has not factored, or has not has not taken um, I mean has not taken many factors that could influence the outcome of the match, outcome of the what to say outcome of the batsman's knock. Um, so so alpha has its drawbacks because it is based on historical performance, and um, uh, there may be a case where the formula, the mathematical tool, has not factored not factored many, what is it, has not factored many inputs into its equation. So finally, you get an inaccurate. You find inaccuracies in the method. So alpha is a good tool. It gives you confidence that the fund the last fund has a good history. There's enough reason why it should not continue its historical performance. So this is about alpha. I think positive alpha means the fund has outperformed its index. Say for instance, alpha of 5, positive 5, uh, says that fund has outperformed the index by 5%. Negative, similarly, negative denotes a underperforming fund. So, 0 is an ideal value, says fund's growth is in line with the benchmark. So alpha is a good valuation metric that one should look at before choosing a fund. Next critical parameter is R-squared test. I think I thought of discussing it after after explaining about other valuation metric. Then I decided this should be um, uh, this R-squared test value is should be seen by the investor first before looking at other formulas. R-squared test checks the accuracy of the mathematical tools used in calculating the profitability of the fund. Same cricket analogy. They arrive at a benchmark average of 30 for a good batsman. After calculating, after inputs, after receiving inputs, of taking drawing inputs from the matches. After a year, they find that batsmen score only 20 as an average. Then they look at the statistical tools. When they find that there is they find that method used is inaccurate. So what does R-squared test do is check how far the methods used are accurate, used in calculating the outcome are accurate. For there are ideal R-squared values. R-square of 100 says that the statistical tools give you a accurate picture, or the diagnostic tools that are used for predicting future outcomes is quite accurate. Anything below 70 says that statistical tools used talks about the inaccuracies of the statistical tools or the valuation metrics that are used in determining the profitability. So it checks the truthfulness of the valuation methods. So that is why it is very, very crucial. Is R square test uh, more or less no, I mean would give you an insight. I mean on the on the profitability of the investment. So R square values, the ideal values, 100 says that says about the accuracy of the evaluation metrics or the statistical tools that are used. Anything below 70 um, says that valuation tools have a lot of inaccuracies. So anything between 85 and 100 is quite safe. So this is about R square. So I have discussed two things today. One is alpha, second is R square. Alpha. Let me recap it. Alpha is a relative performance metric the relative performance metric that compares the performance of the fund with the benchmark index. I gave you cricket as an example. Then I discussed about ideal values of alpha. The next thing is the R square test, which tests the accuracy of the statistical tools, of the valuation metrics used in determining the profitability of the investment. It says uh, how accurate is your uh, uh, how accurate is your mathematical tells about how accurate is your mathematical for formulas, I mean, that were used in determining the in arriving at the in arriving at the profitability of the investment. So I discussed ideal values for R square. R square is again very, very important um, in choosing the fund. Poor R square value, you can easily say that gives you an impression that fund may not deliver the projected returns. Again, or the fund is not once valuable. I mean, it shows the inaccuracies in the fund valuation metrics. So you should wait for some time, and you should be conservative in your approach. You should wait for some time for this R square metric to improve, then think about investing. So R square is very, very crucial in choosing the fund. Alpha gives you an idea of one's future performance. Though drawbacks, it is based on historical data. It could change. Again, we are talking about accuracy here. It could change. Probably the benchmark set by using mathematical methods may not be accurate. That is where this R square test comes into the equation. It checks the accuracy of all the mathematical tools that were used in arriving at a benchmark figure or a profitable figure. So R square would give you would give you enough reasons for you to invest in a fund. Thank you. Namaskaram. I'll be discussing about Sharpe's ratio and other, the 2 or 3 parameters, other parameters which captures the risk inherent in the fund's portfolio. Again, I just want to repeat what I discussed in my earlier YouTube session. See, there is risk inherent in every business. Banks and mutual funds have a similar business model. Both invest in business. If my reasoning is banks can succeed, mutual funds too do have a possibility of generating good returns. Um, so it all comes down to the funds manager experience, valuation metrics. So choosing, analyzing a mutual fund is very critical. Uh, for to determine it goes a long way. I mean, it is a fail-safe method. I mean, when you when you when you take informed decision based on all this parameter. Thank you, Nandri, Vanakkam. Thank you.